Okay guys, so I am back in the kitchen and I am going to preserve dill. So I have a ton of it drying over here. I washed it, I cleaned it, and now I'm drying it. And now I'm going to preserve it. So before I start, I want to talk a little bit about the benefits of dill. So dill has a lot of benefits. It provides you with vitamin A and vitamin C. It also can help with gut health. It can help with bronchitis, lung issues. It can help with reproductive issues. It can help with a lot of different things. So it is important to have dill in your diet. Now, I'm not saying this as a health professional. I am saying this as somebody that has studied a lot of herb medicine and has treated her family with herb medicine. So I'm not saying go out and do it and it's going to work for everybody. I'm just saying that this is what I do for my little family and this is what helps. So I use dill a lot, especially when I am in my PMS time. Most people eat a lot of pickles. I use dill just in different pasta dishes and different things like that to kind of help calm me down. And then also whenever we're having like lung issues or anything like that, actually making a tea with dill is going to help kind of break up coughs and bronchitis. So kind of help getting that phlegm out of your bronchial tubes. So what people don't tell you though is that that takes a lot of dill in order to have an instant effect after one serving. So instead of taking like 100 grams of dill like people normally would do, I personally like to use dill throughout the week in different meals so that our bodies constantly have that immunity boost of the dill in it. And then I start usually when I'm getting ready to PMS about a week beforehand, and I eat a lot of pickles, I eat a lot of pastas with dill in it, and I do make a tea with dill and drink that, and then by the time I get to that time, I'm not so angry and I'm not in pain. So I'm gonna preserve some dill. I'm gonna do it in two ways. One, I'm going to freeze it, and then the other way I'm going to make a butter with it. Okay guys, so I have washed the dill and I have laid it all out and now it's completely dry. So when it comes to me freezing it, I am going to make sure that I'm going to have it completely separated because I'm going to freeze it whole like this. So I will get out a pan so that I can lay it on top of it, and then I'm going to stick that whole pan into the freezer. Okay guys, so this is what it looks like. I just have it laid out. I have one layer on it right now, and then I am going to put a piece of parchment paper, and then I'm going to put another layer on top of that, and then I'm going to pop it in the freezer. Okay, so now this is layer 2, and I could keep going with this and keep making more layers and more layers and more layers, but I'm going to take the rest of the dill and make some dill butter balls. So I'm going to pop this into the freezer right now and let it freeze for probably around 2 to 3 hours. The dill is in the freezer. I'm going to make some dill butter balls. Now, one thing I always like to really help people understand is that convenient food is only convenient because you've made it that way. If you have the time to take one day out of your week and create your convenience foods, then you're not going to be picking up fast food or different things like that just because you just don't have time. For me, I work a lot of hours a week, and I do also want to make sure that my family is having a healthy, balanced meal every single week and every single day. So one of the things that I do is I create things that create convenience for me when I'm cooking. So I know that I like to have a butter dill lemon sauce on my fish when I make fish, or even sometimes chicken too as well. So what I can do is I got a bunch of fresh lemons and I already squeezed those. I froze those in ice cube trays. If you guys haven't seen the video on ways that I use lemons, I will link it down below so that you guys can see that. But now I need to make the butter dill sauce, which is going to be really easy to do. So all I do is I soften some butter, and I have the rest of my fresh dill that is dry here that I'm gonna chop up, and I'm gonna blend it together. So let's go see how I do that. Okay guys, so I'm gonna start with my dill, and I'm just going to chop it up. I'm not trying to like make it a mush, but I'm just trying to chop it up into small pieces. So I'm just going to do that, go from the top, and just keep going. Now this can give you a lot of those ounces of dill in a small amount of time versus you trying to drink it all, because sometimes drinking dill doesn't taste the most amazing. And it'll give you that amount of dill that you need for your body to have the health benefits just by cooking with it, because it'll release those enzymes and different things that can help you when it comes to different health things. So I'm going to make a lot of little butter balls here, so I'm going to be chopping up the rest of the dill. Now I do also dry my dill in my dehydrator too as well. I just have some already in my shakers, and I do not have any more butter balls, and I don't have any whole that is frozen. And one of the things that I want to do is make my own pickles, but in Arizona, dill and pickles grow at different times. So we have to preserve one or the other. And preserving a pickle is not the easiest thing to do to keep it fresh, other than pickling it, and you need the dill to pickle it. So there we go. We're just going to preserve the dill, and then we can wait for the pickles. So I'm going to keep chopping this up, and then I will show you guys the next step. Okay, so now we have the dill all chopped up. So now I've just added 2 sticks of butter. Now you can add as much butter or a little butter as you want, but I added 2 sticks of butter because I want to make a lot of dill butter balls. So let's start mashing it. Okay, so I'm just going to take a fork and just mash it and blend it until it all gets blended together. So this smells amazing too right now. That is the one really great thing about cooking with herbs, is that your house just has wonderful smells all the time. And when people come over, they're always like, oh my god, like, what are you cooking? And you're like, I'm not cooking anything, I'm just, processing my herbs. And then you look like a super cool chef that everybody wants to be around and learn from. So I'm gonna get this to this consistency. As you guys can see, it looks like this, like a big mesh. And now I'm going to separate it into the balls. So I'm gonna get my magic ball creator. So my magic ball creator is just really a cookie dough scooper. But I mean, it feels kind of magical. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to grab some scoops of the dill butter, and then I'm just going to put it on a cookie sheet with some parchment paper on it. And then I'm gonna pop it into the freezer and let them freeze completely to where they're completely solid. So let me grab a cookie sheet. Okay, so now I have my parchment paper on top of my cookie sheet, and all I'm going to do is just go in here and grab a dollop of it and then just put it on the cookie sheet. Just like that. So I'm going to do that until I have no more left. So let me get that finished. Okay, so I needed way more butter and way more herbs to fill the sheet, but this is what it looks like. So I just dolloped it on there, and now I'm going to stick this whole thing in the freezer for 2 to 3 hours. Okay guys, so now that's in the freezer, and this is going to be really convenient for me. Because now when I come home, all I have to do is defrost fish or chicken. I can do it before leaving. I do also work from home most of the time, so I can just take it out while I'm working upstairs, and then once it's time for Mr. Benson to come home, I can just pop it in the oven with a dollop of dill butter, maybe put a little bit of salt and pepper. I do use salted butter when I make my butter herbs, so that then I don't have to add additional salt, and then just throw a cube of lemon juice in there, and that'll season it perfectly. That's me not having to waste time, not having to touch a lot of raw meat too as well, because once I put it on there, I just put the dollop, put the lemon cube, and then let it all melt in the oven and kind of mix and blend and do its thing. So we're gonna let that freeze, and then I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like once it's done. Okay guys, so it is the next day and this is what we have. We have the frozen dill, which is frozen solid, and this one is just whole dill. And then we also have the dill butterballs, which look like this. So I am actually going to put these in a plastic bag and just label it fresh dill and the date. And then I'm gonna individually wrap these ones in parchment paper. So I'll be back. So in effort to create a lot more content for the Team Vincent channel, you guys are going to see a lot of outfit changes and a lot of going from business to casual, because I'm going to be filming these in between going to work and kind of doing things around the house. So I just wanted to end our herb video and show you guys what the final products look like. This is just the fresh herb, or fresh dill. And what's nice about if you layer it, or let it dry, or sorry, let it freeze individually, then you can pull out just pieces of dill and it won't be clumped together all in one big clump. And the nice part too is that dill defrosts rather quickly, and it's just like it was when you first pulled it. And then the last thing are our dill butterballs. So I individually wrap these so that these don't come out in one big giant clump. So it's really convenient just to thaw yourself out some fish or shrimp or chicken, and then just grab a little butterball and toss it on top. Maybe put a lemon cube in there and then throw it in the oven, and that's dinner. So just a reminder, make sure you guys are growing yourself a small space garden, or a garden in general, because even a small space can provide you with tons of food. Bye.